Okay, no shirt today, but look at my necklace. So today's video, I'm gonna answer 2 questions. First, how long do that shit have you high for? Because I get that question a whole fucking lot. And I'm also gonna talk about the different strands of psychedelic mushrooms that I have had so far. First of all, there are a lot of strands of psychedelic mushrooms. The same way that you have different strands of weed, psychedelic mushrooms are the same. So that's the first part. I have had penis envy, which is a very popular strand. It is also very strong. So a lot of people want those. They are in high demand. So if you find them, don't be surprised if niggas taxing for them, because supply and demand is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I've also had another strand called Blue Minis. I've had Malabar Coast, and not too long ago, I had some albinos. So if y'all know what that is, yes. I also had some golden teachers. Now I want to try some golden teachers some more, because I had like maybe 2 grams, and y'all know I'm not no amateur, so yeah. I mean, it was cool or whatever, but I couldn't really tell the difference because I mixed it with another strand. Now, I kind of wanted to talk about that as a preface to how long do that shit have you high for, because the strand matters. How much you have of that strand is going to hit different than you having a different strand. Remember, I talked to y'all about potency charts. It should look like this. I know that in Amsterdam, when you purchase truffles, there are potency charts on the back of those, but different strands of shrooms have different potency charts. So I want y'all to keep in mind that while I'm giving y'all these answers, that the strand matters. Now, while I cannot remember the strand that I've had every single time I've had psychedelic mushrooms, I kind of want y'all to just take into account, like, okay, well, maybe you could have ate a lot of this and been high for a small amount of time because it wasn't a super strong strand, right? I know I talked to y'all before about like Vicodin versus ibuprofen, so keep that in mind. Now, how long do that shit have you high for? 1, this is the main reason why people who have tried shrooms do not like them outside of the risk of hallucination. When you consume shrooms, it's really not a way that you could turn that shit off. You just gotta be high till you're not high no more. Like, it's kind of like, you know, ODing on an energy drink and your body just like, you know, you just gotta kind of wait till that shit wear off on its own. So, yeah. Now, to kind of be organized about this, I did make a list. I wrote on here how much I remember taking, and I also wrote on here how long approximately I was high for. One thing I also want y'all to remember, so we taking into account the strand and potency. I also want y'all to take into account your weight, because weight matters in my perspective. Other people might have a different one, but I personally think that weight matters. I had a friend who, she ate a 3.5 and she was smaller than me, and them shrooms whooped her ass. But I ate a 3.5 and I was cool. I was high as fuck for a long ass time, but I was cool. Like, I wasn't getting my ass beat, but I credit that to me being heavier than her. I had food on my stomach. She was eating while she was doing shrooms on an empty stomach, so she was getting full and high at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like when you drinking. When you drink on an empty stomach, you get a different result than when you drink and you're not on an empty stomach. Shit like that. So we considering strand, we're considering potency, weight. We're also going to consider whether an empty or a full stomach. As I have told y'all before, I always recommend that you eat your shrooms with snacks. People who feel the side effects of being nauseous or having to throw up or things of that nature, you should consume your shrooms with snacks. It will help with that, because you're putting something that is foreign to your body in your body with something that is familiar to your body, which is food. I personally like hot popcorn. I like hot Cheetos. I like hot chips to go with my shrooms. The first time I ever did shrooms, I went to a kickback. I ate about 3 grams, but I spaced it out. So I had about 1.5 grams to 2 grams. The first time I ate it, an hour and some change went by. I was not feeling shit, so I ate another gram. Total of 3 grams. I spaced it out. It was a body high. I was high for 13 hours, and I did go to work, and I was perfectly fine. Me going to work is the only way I was able to remember I was high for 13 hours. To be at work at 5:30, I stopped feeling high around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I knew what time I had ate them shrooms because I had made a Snapchat video. The next time that I had did shrooms, and these are not in chronological order, so please keep that in mind, 3.5 grams. I was high for about 3 to 5 hours, and I was also drinking as well, because I was kicking it. You know, we was drinking wine and we was drinking liquor. When you drink and you do shrooms, I feel like your liquor is going to overpower your shrooms, and I do feel like that it cut your trip short. I kicked it with my brother. I was high for about 9 to 11 hours. I was up all night. I was hallucinating. We was playing games. I ate about 3.5 to 5 grams, and that was in April of 2020. When I went to go see the Northern Light, I want to say I was high for 11 hours and I had eaten 8.92 grams. And I also followed it up with an orange. I ate it with some chips. I ate a meal like maybe an hour and a half before I did my shrooms or some shit like that, so I wasn't on an empty stomach. The viral video of me eating all them shrooms in the car, I was with my cousin. I was high for 10 hours. I ate about 4 to 6 grams. So I went to a barbecue and, you know, she had a kickback at her house later. My ex birthday, I was high for about 9 hours. I had eaten 3.5 grams. I went to sleep and I had sex on them, so it was great. My birthday weekend, I was high for 3 days. We ate an 8 per day, so we ate 3.5 grams each day. But then we also was eating shrooms throughout the day. So like we'll eat a 3.5 and when we get up in the morning, like 10, and then about like 12 or 1 o'clock, we eating another gram or 2 by, you know, so, you know, it was kind of one of them things where we just kind of like spaced it out and whatever. Yeah, I was high as fuck for 3 days and it was a grand time. Now, my best friend's birthday, I had ate a 3.5. I was high for about 4 to 6 hours and I also had a lemonade. That was the day I told y'all I had to drive on shrooms and that shit was fucking garbage, okay? My ex birthday, I had a 3.5. It was in the form of a Tootsie Roll. I was high for 7 hours. The first time we did shrooms for his birthday. The second time we did shrooms for his birthday, I think I was off 6 grams and I was high for 13 hours. The museum that I went to, I had ate about 4 to 6 grams. Now I know for sure that shit was penis envy. I was higher than they bitch. Do you hear me? Oh, I was higher than giraffe pussy. I wanted to turn that shit off so bad. I was ready to go to sleep. I couldn't go to fucking sleep. That was the one time I was like, fuck this. I'ma just throw up and see if it get the shit off of my stomach or decrease my high or something. And to be honest with y'all, I didn't have that much on my stomach because I really didn't eat that much, but we had been drinking this shit too. I threw up whatever was left down there and I went to sleep. I just didn't want to be high no more. For the time that I was high about 15 hours. I went to sleep, woke up the next morning, was still high. I was like, fuck. The Christmas kickback video, I was high for 7 hours. I was also very drunk. I ate about 4 grams. When I went skydiving, I ate about 6 grams. I was high for 6 to 8 hours. I went to a baby shower on shrooms. I was high for about 6 to 8 hours. I had 2 grams to start and then I just kept increasing my amount that I was eating. I was also kicking it with a friend who was also doing shrooms with me. Shout out to Mushroom Mafia. Me and him, we was eating shrooms. I was eating shrooms before I went to the baby shower. Got there, ate a couple more. I was drinking as well. We had a Sunday fun day at my best friend's house. I was high for about 15 to 17 hours. I had some food, so I really wasn't on like a completely empty stomach, but I had more than a snack, but less than a meal, if that makes sense. Now, my best friend had made some shroomaritas. It was a margarita that had psychedelic mushrooms in it. It was about 1 gram of mushrooms in my cup. I also had a lime in there. So yeah, do the math. Later on that night, I had ended up eating 2 Tootsie Rolls. Each Tootsie Roll is 3.5 grams. So that's about 7 grams. So by the time I eat both of those Tootsie Rolls and I drink this shroomarita, we at 8 grams. My best friend had sat out some shrooms for me and a couple other people to eat, but that was probably like maybe 1/2 gram. But like I said, I was high for 15 to 17 hours. One time I was on some reckless shit. I did some shrooms at work. I ate a whole 8 right before I went to fly out to go dangle and shit. I was high for 6 hours. I was actually really chill. I was at work. I was still functioning and shit, but I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, spazzing or shit like that. I was still doing my work. I actually got what they call like a positive write-up. I was given written accolades for my work and work ethic that day at work. I was like, what the fuck? Alright, I'm with this. Maybe I need to do these bitches more often than come in here. No, it was just a really good day. I prevented a delay. It was some sticky situations that I just helped motherfuckers get out of because I was like, no, I got it. Watch out. So that was cool. I had did some shrooms and flew out. I took a flight on shrooms. Had a 3.5. I was high for about 4 to 7 hours. I really don't recommend taking flights and having shrooms in your system. I'm gonna do a separate video on that because I do feel like that's a fucking bad idea. I mean, it's not terrible, but the experience I want to have while I'm flying, I don't think shrooms is really conducive to that unless I'm going somewhere and I'm like, soon as I hop off the plane, we gotta turn the fuck up and I need a head start type of shit. So there was another weekend, my friend's family came to town. I was high for about 8 to 10 hours. I had 4 to 6 grams. The night that I told y'all about where I was watching Legendary, I had ate about 2 grams. I was packing for a flight. That was also a penis envy strand. Them shits was strong as fuck. That was on an empty stomach because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when I was packing because I always wait to the last minute. I was on an empty stomach, so that was 6 to 9 hours. For my 30th birthday, I ate like 3 to 5 grams. I was high for 6 to 9 hours. We had a kickback at my best friend's house with our old college friends. I ate about 2 to 3 grams. I was also drinking and I was also smoking hookah. I was high for like 6 to 10 hours. That shit was fucking epic. We had a cousin, wake up in July of 2020. I was high for 13 hours. I had 3.5 grams of shrooms. For a friend's birthday, I had went out of town, found somebody who was growing psychedelic mushrooms, and I never had them wet. Now, I had purchased from him before, so I texted him like, hey, can I just get an 8 for wet shrooms? I never had them before. I want to try them. Like I told y'all before, wet to dry potency is times 10. So you need 10 times the amount wet that you do dry in order to feel the same effect. I didn't feel a motherfucking thing. I was sober than a bitch. I was not high at the fuck all. Another time I was out of town, I was getting my hair cut at a friend's house. I had ate like 2 to 3 grams and I was high for 6 to 8 hours. This is all I could think of. I'm pretty sure I've done shrooms more than this because in 2 years, yeah, some of these was like back-to-back days, but they was pretty spaced out for the most part. Pretty sure I'm forgetting some. Oh, I think I did shrooms at my housewarming. I don't remember how long I was high for or how much I ate because I was just drunk as fuck, but I was having a good time. Then for somebody else's birthday weekend, I had did a 3-5 and I was high for like 5 to 6 hours. One thing I do want to remind y'all is that mass is mass. When it comes to eyeballing a 3-5 of shrooms, or it's a little sticky only because weight is weight. You can look at a nugget of weed and be like, oh, that's about 3-5, that's about this, that, and the third, right? But the weight of one mushroom and the weight of another mushroom are going to be completely different. The same way no two people are the same, or two people can weigh the same and they can look completely different. Shrooms are the exact same thing. Remember, mass is mass. How much you weigh matters. Remember that whether you're on an empty or full stomach, that matters as well. The strand that you're doing, it matters as well. And last but certainly not least, if you are not a beginner, your tolerance is going to matter as well. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Peace out!